If you have such a supportive person, like, you feel so safe. You're like, "Wow, like, I don't have to do it all by myself." Like, you literally feel like you could take a step back and just take a deep breath and be like, I don't have, and it's okay to ask for help. So important to be with someone who takes care of themselves, like physically, mentally, who's like always wanting to learn because they're gonna be a confident person. And it's like he knows what he brings to the table, and I love that.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Marissa, and I am here to tell you a story about one of my favorite trainers that I've had the luxury of working with. If you know me and you know anything about this channel, I'm all about empowering women and betting on themselves, really just taking that leap of faith. Maybe it's quitting your 9 to 5, maybe it's just trying something new. Whatever you decide to do, I just want you to fully 100% commit. And I really feel the story that we are going to share today with Jackie is going to inspire you to do just that. So I'm super happy to have you here. Thank you for coming. Jackie, just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the fitness space and what made you want to start?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I feel honored to be here. My name's Jackie. I've been in the fitness industry for about 8 years, being a personal trainer about 4 years now. I started 2020 when COVID started. It was always like an outlet for like my stress, my mental health. And I remember it would just help me with everything when I was trying to figure life out. It changed my life completely. And I started meeting girls who started asking me questions about it, wanting to dive into the space and work on themselves, like mentally, physically, spiritually. And I felt like I was pretty knowledgeable. So I started training, and it's just something I love to do, and I'm really passionate about it. So,
I love that. I love that. And I remember when I first met you, you were kind of juggling. You weren't new to personal training, but you were in the earlier part of your career where you were still having a 9 to 5.
yeah.
Yeah. And so what were you doing at that 9 to 5? And what was like the light bulb moment that you're like, okay, I need to quit and I just need to go all in on this.
Yeah, so I started my fitness journey entering college. So I started college 2016. I went to Cal Poly Pomona, and I graduated with a psychology major in marketing, a minor in marketing. So as soon as I graduated, I started working for a marketing company. I was running their social media, so I was in that field of like social media, and that's when I just started to love it. And I was like, okay, if I'm working for someone else, like I want to start building something for myself. I'm like, I'm really good at it. I love like editing and just videos and like photos and taking photos of everything. So once I started training at Self Made, I was still working my 9 to 5, and I just started picking up clients, started getting busier. And there was a point where I was starting to reject clients because it didn't fit my schedule.
Yeah.
Clients were interested in training at 9 a.m., but that's when I had my 9 to 5. So I had to turn them down. And obviously I was like scared to like quit my job.
Yeah.
I was like, what if I don't fill in? Like, to cover, like my expenses and everything I needed. And yeah, I just started having so many girls like ask me. So I was like, you know what? Like, I think this is my time to finally quit my 9 to 5 and go all into my business. And obviously, like, I met you, and you were an amazing mentor. You taught me so much. And now I'm here. I'm 2 years in. So it's been the best.
Yeah, and I feel like if anybody follows Jackie on social, like she is really like the all-around trainer. Like she holds you accountable, you do their meal plans. And but on top of that, like you created a community outside of personal training with mindful growth, right? And that was before personal training, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And then how did that community start? And then how you were able to transition fitness and kind of merge the two.
Yeah, so Mindful Growth Society is a women's social club. It started off as a book club in 2020.
Okay.
And it kind of started when I started personal training. At that time, I felt like I was missing a sense of community.
Hmm.
Um, Prior to COVID, I was really all out there. I went to college, I joined like groups, and I was just really involved. Once COVID hit, I felt like I lost a sense of community, and I felt really alone. And I even felt like my mindset was like, I don't need anyone. Like, I can do it all by myself. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if I want to learn something, I'll go on YouTube. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to ask anyone. Like, just very independent mindset. And I remember my best friend was like, I feel the same way. I just feel like I miss community now. So, like, why don't we start a book club? At that time, I had like so many books for some reason, like of the same book.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, what should we do with all these books? She's like, we should start a book club. So we started a book club. I was never like a reader like that in college. I
Yeah.
was,
Sure.
but I've always been into personal development. So I had all these books I wanted to complete, but I just wouldn't complete them.
Yeah.
I would buy them with the
You're like with the attention or like, I'm going to read this. And then it's like chapter 3 and you're like, "Oh, okay, maybe tomorrow." For sure.
Yeah, and it's like I wouldn't make the time for it. So I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe if I start a book club, it's like it'll work on my favor.
Yeah.
Like I'll be able to
Accountability.
complete these books. Yeah. And so we started the book club. I remember posting about it. I was so scared. Like, who wants to join a book club? And we started off with 6 girls. That was pretty consistent. It started to grow over time. Now we have over 100 girls in the club.
Wow,
So it's
that's
grown.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's grown so much over the years. And so, yeah, so it started as a book club. Now it's a women's social club where we host events, women wellness events, women retreats. We've hosted events, women retreats in Utah. Like we have one next month in
I
Arizona.
love that.
We've done Palm Springs. Eventually, we wanted to go international, like host
Costa Rica or
Costa Rica. Yeah, that would be beautiful.
that's awesome. Because I remember when you know how like that trainer hour in the morning where you're in between clients and everyone's just like kind of on their phone, they're looking at their schedule for the day. But I remember that exact feeling. Like we were sitting there and we were talking, and I said something along the lines with like, "Oh, women, we just feel like we can do everything on our own." And immediately you're like, "But we can't."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay." I was all, "Okay, I can't even there." I was like, "Tell me more." But it came from such a, like, a genuine and, like, "No, I've been there." Like, there was levels to that response where I was just like, "No," like and that just made it seem like, "No, you're like, I'm a girl's girl." Like,
Yeah.
I know what it's like to have a community. I know what it's like to thrive
Right.
when you're in community. And I think what good and bad with 2020, right, with COVID is like we realize we can do whatever we need to do. But I think what's also really nice to know is why we still have our jobs with personal training and working with people is that people still want that human connection.
Yes.
Like, even though people are so scared, AI is going to take over, yada, yada, where there's apps for everything. There's not an app for you or your personality or your genuine connection with the people that you see every day at 5 and 6 a.m., you know? So I love that. But I just remember, like, I was driving over here. I was like, no, I remember, like, she was kind of like, no, but we can't do it. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, okay, no, but it's so nice to see because you really are, and I don't say this lightly, like you really are a girl's girl, right? Like you really want the best for your clients, your community. And every time I've seen you do an event, it's top tier. Maybe you might have things that go wrong in the back end, which with every event, there's something, but you always pull it together. And I think you have a really good sense of knowing your community and knowing how to speak to them directly, that I'm sure each one of those 100 girls that are in your guys' group feels connected with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really hard to do for the masses. Like you have your one or two people that you have that relationship with, but I think you're doing really well with growing your community but making it feel super intimate,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
That's
know?
the goal. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, you're doing
That
great. No. And I just love to see it. I love events. I personally love going to business events, and there's just something that's different when you're actually in person with a group of women that like have a common goal or they just want better for themselves. With your business right now, do you feel like how do you want it to go? Are you thinking more online? Where's your focus in the next like 2 to 3 years with it?
Yeah, great question. So I definitely see it still moving, online, but I love how you brought up the fact like there's no app for your personality. Like nothing's going to top like human interaction. And that's what I've just come down to. Like we try to do everything. Like that's the end goal for everyone. Like I want to work from home. I want to work remote. And that was me. And it still kind of is at one point for that
Yeah.
freedom, to do whatever you want, to travel and be working elsewhere. But it's like for me, I find the most joy like being in person, doing things in person with other people. I feel like I could just learn so much and actually like still have those genuine conversations with people. My ultimate goal is still, online, but I still want to always do like a 50-50 where whether, like I've thought about leaving California, so if I decide to do that, it's like I would still love to create that a community or mindful growth, like start something over there where we can still host in-person events. I can still, train. Like I would love to open up
Mhm.
my gym. That's still one of my goals. And then also remote. So I always want like that.
You still want a
Of
home base.
both. Yeah.
Yeah. And now your goal is you still want your own gym in the future?
I would love to still have my own gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
And
like a cafe on the side. Like that's my goal. Like have brekkies, my breakfast. But
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Oh, I love that.
Mm.
So with your growth, possibly moving out of state, I think a big so you're very independent. You're very strong in your ways. You have your own business. Now, one thing, and I'm super thankful because I feel like I have a supportive husband. I feel like there's times being an entrepreneur that the person that you're with, you know, can either make or break those times, right? I feel every entrepreneur has their lows. And with those lows, they could be financial, they could be an image thing, it could be something that's going on behind closed doors that nobody sees. And I think as women, and this goes back to us thinking like we have to have it all together.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, it's helps when you have a supportive person in your corner. How do you feel with I know you're newly engaged, and I'm so excited for you. How do you feel like that partnership has helped your business grow?
Yeah. Yeah, having a supportive partner is like such a life changer, like a game changer for sure, and like your spiritual journey and your financial journey, and your growth overall. Obviously, I've been in both situations, like I've experienced where it's like you feel like you're just moving in life and you feel like someone's holding you back. And then now, like with my fiance, like he's just such a go getter. Like sometimes I feel like I want to compete with him because I'm just very competitive. But it's like I love that because it pushes me to do more. Like when you have someone like below you or like right next to you, it's like you don't like want to grow. You don't see anything above you, like anything past your vision. But when you have someone who just keeps on going and like has that vision of like just growth, like physically too, like that's such a big thing. Like there's gonna be days where I'm down, and it's like, if your partner's down too, it's like you're both going down.
Yeah,
So you
for
need
sure.
someone who's gonna, like, hold both of you, like, as a couple in a relationship who's gonna be like, "No, like, I need to step up to the plate so for my partner." And sometimes in, like, my past, I would feel like I would have to, like, come back down to me.
Kind of like dim your shine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but when someone's, like, above you, it's like, wow, like, there's room, like, there's so much growth, like, you see a bigger image in life. So yeah, having a supportive, like, partner, even, like, a friend group, like, that's just so important to me. Like, I need to be around people who motivate me and push me, like, and I need someone to tell me the truth.
I was gonna say
No.
you don't need yes people around you. Like
Yes.
you need somebody to be like in close behind closed doors, like tell me the truth. How was I? Like where can I do better? And where you can let your guard down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and someone who makes you feel safe and okay doing so. Like I was like saying earlier, it's just like I would be like, I can do it all by myself. But if you have such a supportive person, like you feel so safe. You're like, wow, like I don't have to do it all by myself. Like you literally feel like you could take a step back and just take a deep breath and be like I don't have, and it's okay to ask for help. And sometimes it's like back then I felt like I had to have my like guard up, like, no, I will figure it out. I'll do it. Like I don't need help.
Like
But
you just felt like you always had to be the alpha. Like you weren't allowed to like be soft or
yeah.
you always had to be in control.
Yes. So, yeah,
No,
it's
that's
it's just so important to have, like, a supportive group of people around you.
100%. And now is your fiance, is he an entrepreneur too, or is he kind of like the 9 to 5?
Yeah, so he's 9 to 5. He eventually, wants to get into, like, the
Yeah,
entrepreneurship.
those are
He has his goals, yeah, and he's such a go-getter, and that's one thing, like, I just truly love about him.
I love that. So you guys are both kind of on that trajectory of like building a life for your future selves, your future
Yeah,
family, and all of that.
yeah, and he used to be, like, a trainer too, so he was great
Okay,
in
so he was in the
fitness.
fitness space.
Yeah, he was in the fitness space. Yeah, he's been into bodybuilding and everything. But it's just he just
So he
stepped away
relate
from it.
so he can relate to you
Yeah.
because a lot of times what I've seen just being in the fitness industry for so long, um, your significant other can be very it's intimidating, right? Like you go to our expos, you go to our open houses, and it's like the guys have their shirts off, the girls are in their booty shorts, and like your person walks in and is like, "These are your coworkers?" Like,
Right.
and one thing I say, like with my husband, it was like he never made me feel like weird. Like,
Mhm.
he never was like, "Oh, so you're hanging out with this person." But it also takes a level of, like, they have to be confident
Yeah.
within themselves
Yes.
in order to just be our partner in the industry. So,
So true. Yeah.
it's
That's
it's
such a
hard.
point.
Yeah, no, and it's just, like, face value, like, you walk into any of the gyms and you're like, "Wow, everyone's so attractive." And then it's like you and then and so it's hard for your person not to feel maybe, like, a little intimidated,
Right.
but it also takes a strong person, a strong man to be like, "Okay,
Absolutely.
yes, she's in this environment, but I know what we have. I know the confidence that I have within myself, and go to work and I'll be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, not like I've seen girls like they're on the foot, they're doing a booth and it's like, oh, let me check in. Let me
Yeah.
check in. It's nice to be able to go into because for us, it's business. Like
Mhm.
I have to work a booth, I have to work a room. Like it's, I just think when you're able to fully like immerse yourself in whatever activity you need to do that day
Mhm.
and you don't have any of that background noise of,
Yes.
oh man, what's going to happen when I get home?
Right.
Yeah, so I just think it's important. I just don't think it's talked about enough because, like I said, women, we think we need to be strong. We need to be
Yeah.
independent. I can handle this, like whatever. But I think when you actually find your person,
Yeah.
it's okay to be strong alpha, but like, hey, I want to be soft. Thank you for taking care of me
Mhm.
when I need to be taken care of.
Right.
But then at the same time, you're like, he's probably going to check you too. Like, Jackie, like, come on, like, let's do better.
Yeah. No,
Right.
literally this morning, like I haven't been consistent like posting on TikTok. He's like, you haven't been posting on TikTok. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right, I haven't. He's not on Instagram or anything.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know how you're doing on Instagram. He's like, but I hope you're being consistent.
He's
My
like, lift this up, girl.
I was like, on Instagram I have, but like it's just so much. I mean, like
Yeah,
content
100%.
and everything. Obviously, I just came back from Italy, so it's like I'm catching back up. But I love that. Like I just need people to push me, like either
Yeah.
friend group, my partner, and I love how you brought up the confidence. Like that's just so important. Like I'm a really confident person, when like I take care of
Yeah.
myself so
100%.
well, and he does too. That's why it's so important to be with someone who takes care of themselves, like physically, mentally, who's like always wanting to learn because they're gonna be a confident person, and it's like he knows what he brings to the table, and I love that so
I
much.
love that. That's and just like I said, just the outsider looking in, seeing your growth in business and just as a person and your overall like happiness levels, like you always had your stuff together, but it's just nice to see you happy with having it all together. So I'm really happy we're able to like share that. What do you feel is in your next probably 6 months, 6 months to a year? Like what do you see happening with mindful growths and your personal training business?
Yeah. So for personal training, like I mentioned earlier, I do want to eventually do more 60-40%.
Okay.
Like
So that's more of a like a short-term goal then.
yeah, more of a
Okay, cool.
short-term goal. I'm working towards that right now. I need to work harder, but I'm working
Yeah.
on it behind doors. And then as far as Mindful Growth Society, just pushing more events, like more women retreats. Like I said, eventually we want to start doing international, like Costa Rica, just Hawaii. We do want to do Hawaii. Like I know it's in States, but that's
I
another
do have
we
a
want
Kauai connection. My dad lives in Kauai. So if you I can get you to Kauai. So if that is on your vision board, we will talk
it
them in. Yeah.
is. We are
We'll make
talking.
that happen for sure.
Yes, it's not far, so it's, like, perfect for, like, a we can still take a flight there, and it still
100%.
feels like
It feels like you're abroad, but you're not abroad. You don't have to get a passport and all the things.
yes.
You could just get
Oh my
there.
gosh.
So we will talk about that. Yeah. No, we're already putting things out there. As we're like slowly wrapping this up, if you could talk to your like your person that you were when you first started training and you were nervous and you didn't know if you should really take the leap, like what would you say to that Jackie 5 years ago?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, I was just talking to someone this morning at the Self-Made, and I was giving them advice, which felt so weird because I was like, "You just need to trust the process." Like, you need to be consistent, and, like, when I started, like, I was like, "No," like, I would ask for advice, like, from you, and you would tell me this, and I'm just like, "Yes," but I was like, "It sounds so far." Like, I'm just I can be impatient with certain things,
Yeah.
obviously, like, wanting to reach goals, and I'm like, "But what do you mean just post more? What do you mean just stay consistent?" And, like, what's the secret? But the truth is, like, there's no, like, secret. You just really need to put in the work, and that goes for everything, like, growing your money, like, growing your business, growing your family, like, having a healthy relationship. So I would just like tell myself like you're doing the best you can, keep trying, like keep going, stay consistent, and it's always like in the small little habits, like all the time. And sometimes we tend to overlook those, and we want to just take a big jump, but it's like it's literally what you do every single morning, every single day. Like wake up, you can decide to sleep in for an hour, you can go to the gym and work out, and like that alone just makes such a difference in your day. You can decide to read a book or just scroll on TikTok, and it's like that makes a big difference in your
100%.
day. You can decide to edit a video to create more content, or again, you can just go out and like have a drink with your friends. And it's like, it's definitely always in those small little things. And those small habits just end up just growing and building, and you get to see it like it all flourish. And I feel like I've seen that, in the past like 5 years. In the last year, like my life has changed so much. And it's just like trusting God and just really just trusting yourself and just having a good environment. I feel like that's just so important. People tend to just stay in like a bad group of people, bad circle, and a bad toxic relationships,
Mhm.
and it's hard. I know it's hard to get out of that, but it's like sometimes you just need to trust yourself and trust the process and just be patient
Yeah,
and confident in your choices.
I love that, and I really hope, like, this if you're watching this, I really hope this encourages you, like, it's not complicated. It's not some secret sauce, it's not some, like it's you being consistent and just literally, like, bet on yourself. You have a vision, you have or not maybe you don't have the vision yet, but you have that, like you have that in you. There's some I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like you have this urge that you want to work for yourself. You want to help other women do this, right? And if you're passionate about it, like the money will come. I always say the money will come. The money will flow, but you have to believe that you have something valuable
Mhm.
to give.
Right.
Right. So I appreciate you telling your story. I really hope this inspires you guys out there to just bet on yourself, take the leap of faith, and know that with community,
Yeah.
that you can go farther with a community than you can alone. And if you need a community, Jackie has a great one.
Yeah.
So we will link all of her socials below. But thank you again for your guys' time, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.